A very good morning to all of you students. The first part of this chapter was being explained by me in your live class. So today what we are going to study is the second part of this chapter. See students, this chapter is very small but it's difficult. So watch this video very carefully and then understand the topic. So students, I had given you the homework to see the diagram of male reproductive system as well as female reproductive system. Here on screen you can see the male reproductive system. When we talk about the first male reproductive system part, that is testis. Testis is the main part of male reproductive system, students, where the formation of male gamete takes place. And what is male gamete? Male gamete is sperm. Okay, and testis lie in a sac like structure that is known as scrotum. Okay, at the upper side of testis there is epididymis. See the coiling of small tubes and a large bunch of them, that is known as epididymis. Now what is the function of epididymis, students? Epididymis is that part of male reproductive system in which the sperms are being stored after they are getting manufactured in testis part. After that you can see a tube like structure that is known as sperm duct or vas differentia. Now what is the function of sperm duct and vas differentia? They work as a medium, or you can say as a pathway which transfer the matured sperm from the region of epididymis to the region of urethra, because urethra will allow the sperm to go outside. Okay, after that you can see the structure of urethra. As I told to all of you that urethra is responsible for ejaculation of the male gamete outside. Okay, it is a tube like structure as well as it is also responsible for the discharge of urine in the case of male. One more important thing, students, the discharge of gamete and discharge of urine in the case of male is same. Okay, but in the case of female, both the discharge is done by two different pathway or two different openings. Now the second part, the next part is penis. So what is penis, students? Penis is just an organ which is responsible for the copulation process when the reproduction process in between male and female is done. Okay, it is just a muscular process which is around the urethra. Okay, now it is a muscular and erectile organ. It delivers sperm into the vagina of female or for fertilization of ovum. As I told to all of you that it is only responsible for the copulation process. Now what is copulation process, students? Copulation process means when the male gamete is ejected inside the female body. Now seminal vesicle, prostate gland and Cowper's gland. Now what are these glands? These are the associated glands which are responsible for the secretion of fluids. And which types of fluid? These are the fluid which provide lubrication to the male gametes. Okay, so when these fluids get mixed with the male gamete, it forms semen. So what is semen? Semen is that thing, students, which not only contain male gamete but they also contain several fluids. Okay, so these several fluids are secreted by the different glands. For example, seminal vesicle, prostate gland and Cowper's gland. With the help of this diagram you can see, students, where these are located. See, at the bladder you can see seminal vesicle, below the bladder you can see prostate gland, and below the prostate gland you can see Cowper's gland. So what is the function of these? The function of these is to secrete fluid. Okay, now the female reproductive system. When you see the diagram of female reproductive system, it is not more complex like male reproductive system. There is a very simple diagram and you can easily draw this diagram in your copy, student. So what you have to do is to draw these both diagram in your copy. And now we will start the female reproductive system. When we talk about the female reproductive system, the main organ, the main part which is responsible for the formation of female gametes is ovary. And what is the name of female gamete? That is ovum. See, you can see two ovaries that is seen in this diagram. Okay. So what is the function of ovary? Is the production of female gamete. They are being like a funnel, like they are being captured by a finger like projection which is known as fimbriae. See, in this diagram, students, the ovary is being captured like finger like structure that is known as fimbriae. Now fimbriae gets elongated and forms a tube, funnel like tube, that is known as fallopian tube, or that is also known as oviduct. Now what is the function of oviduct and fallopian tube? This tube is responsible for the transportation of female gamete into the uterus part of the female reproductive system. Now oviduct and fallopian tube is also work as a pathway of fertilization, means the process of fertilization takes place in this only. Means site of fertilization is, students, fallopian tube or oviduct. Means when the male gamete come inside the body of female gamete, the fusion or the process of fertilization takes place in this part only. Okay. After that you can see the uterus. Now uterus is that part, student, which is responsible for the development of the embryo or zygote. Once the male and female gamete get fertilized, they form zygote, and after the division the zygote forms embryo. So the development of zygotes and embryo takes place in the uterus part, which is also known as womb. Okay. Now the vagina and cervix part. The vagina is the main, you can say, the opening which is found in female reproductive system, and cervix act as a barrier through which the ejaculation process takes place. Okay. After this, students, you can see the next topic is ovulation. Now what is ovulation? It is the release of ovum from ovary. When ovary releases ovum, that process is known as ovulation. In human being, only one ovum is released every month by either of the two ovaries alternately. For example, if one ovary has secreted the ovum, then after that the another ovary will secrete ovum, and this is a monthly process. For example, if one ovary has secreted one ovum, the next ovary will secrete the another ovum after 1 month. The ovum is picked up by the oviduct funnel or oviduct. Okay. Means now this ovum is picked up by which part of the female reproductive system? It is being picked up by the oviduct part of the female reproductive system. After that you can see the topic fertilization in humans. What is this means? Fertilization is in human. Fertilization in human means now how the male and female gamete gets fused. In human being, the fertilization or union of sperm and ovum occur in the anterior part of oviduct. See, here it is written, as I told you earlier also, that oviduct or fallopian tube is the site of fertilization and zygote is formed. This is the first step in the process of reproduction. Okay. Here in the diagram 3.6, students, you can see how the formation, or you can see the process of fertilization takes place. See, at the end point of the oviduct where the fimbriae is formed, you can see the zygote is now formed, means the fertilization has been taken place. After that, the fertilized form, that is zygote, is now coming in the which part? They are coming in the uterus part. Okay. After that, the next topic is development of human embryo. Now, as I told to all of you that the development of human embryo takes place in the uterus part of the female body. Zygotes start dividing immediately after fertilization. While descending through the oviduct, the zygote divides repeatedly and give rise to a ball of cells. Okay, means after several divisions, now the zygote is being formed in the embryo. These cells multiply and differentiated to develop into tissue, organ and organ system. The zygote is a single cell structure, but after division there is formation of several organ tissue takes place. This development structure is known as embryo. As I told you to all of you, the developed part of zygote is known as embryo. Okay. Now, what is implantation? Implantation means, student, when the embryo get attached to the wall of uterus, that is known as implantation. Okay. Why this process occur? This process occur for the fixed property of the uterus, the fixed property of embryo. For example, on reaching to uterus, the embryo attach itself to the wall of uterus by placenta. And by means of what? By means of placenta, the embryo gets attached to the wall of uterus. This is called implantation. Now, this process is known as implantation. The embryo obtain nutrients and oxygen. Yes, and this process, why this process happens? Because placenta is that part, student, which connects the embryo directly to the female body. For example, if female body is taking nutrition, gases, oxygen for respiration, through the means of placenta, the embryo will also get all the things. Okay. Therefore, placenta is called fetus, and placenta is also called as fetus. Life support system. The embryo continues to grow and develop all its body part. Woman with embryo attached to uterine wall is called pregnant. And now, when the woman is having embryo and which is attached to the uterine wall, the woman will be considered as a pregnant woman. Okay, and this condition is known as pregnancy. Now, students, turn the page. In this page, in figure number 3.7, you can see soon after implantation, means here the embryo is being attached to the wall of uterus and also the placenta is being formed. After that, you can see with the help of placenta, the embryo is getting all the nutrients and gases, and the embryo start getting developed. Okay. After that, you can see the embryo is now becoming in a fetus form, and after that, before giving the birth, how the fetus or embryo looks like, that diagram is given. Now, placenta, when the embryo is getting matured, the fetus, or you can say the placenta, is now connected to the fetus with the help of a tube like structure that is known as umbilical cord. Okay, umbilical cord is that cord, student, which is directly attached to the body of the baby and through which the baby get nutrition. Okay, you had seen, students, that after the birth the baby is having some thread like structure, a tube like structure that is attached to the stomach region, or you can say the navel region of the baby body, that is known as the umbilical cord. Okay, students, now you can see what is written here. At 2 months stage, the embryo start resembling the human form. After 2 months, the embryo start resembling like a human, called as fetus. As I told to all of you, this development and growth of fetus is completed by the end of 280 days, and the complete process of developing is done by 280 days, and mother gives birth to a baby. The full term of development of body of baby in the womb of female is called gestation period, and this period in which the female body matures the whole zygote into a fetus and then into a baby, that is known as gestation period. Now, what is parturition? Parturition is the process of giving birth of a baby. Okay students, hope you had understands all the topic. If you are not getting any topic, watch the video again and ask me question whatever you want to ask which is related to this topic.